Hey y'all, welcome back to the Free Black Women's Library YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Thank you for liking this video. And thank you for subscribing to my channel. My name is Ola. I am an artist, set decorator, cultural worker, and the creator and director of a social art project called the Free Black Women's Library. Please check us out on Instagram and all your other social media platforms if that interests you. I am also a media addict, and on this channel, I do rambly reactions to media that intrigues me. That could be TV shows, that could be movies, and of course, books. And in today's video, I'm talking about a show that is currently streaming on HBO Max called the Jerrod Carmichael Reality Show. The Jerrod Carmichael Reality Show, currently streaming on HBO Max. I think we're going to get 10 episodes. We are on episode 6. The name of this episode was Returning Home. Baby, Jerrod, if there's any chance in heck that Jerrod is watching this, I love this episode. I, whew, I'm not gonna lie. It was rough in the beginning. Those first 4 episodes were hard to sit through and get through. But now, between episodes 5 and 6, I think I forgive you. I think I forgive you for making me or making us or making me dig through all that muck of the passive aggressive narcissism, sex addiction, blah, 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 blah. Ciao. It was a lot. And it was cringe, right? I've been saying since episode 1, there's this thread of the good, the bad, and the cringe in every episode. But honestly, I don't think there was any cringe in this episode for me. I feel like it was good from beginning to end. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Like slight cringe, maybe not even cringe, slight bad. You not telling your parents that you're bringing Michael with you to come back to North Carolina for this visit. And I'm really curious to know what order the episodes are shot in. Like I'm curious to know, did this come before the road trip or after? Yeah, yeah, great episode. Let's get into it. So, like I said, it's called Returning Home. And at the very top of my notes, it says I'm on Jerrod's side in this episode, similar to episode 5, talking to Jamar, kind of encouraging Jamar to go to therapy, encouraging Jamar to fly a kite, and in some ways letting Jamar know that it's true. You have this trauma of not knowing your dad and not having that father-son connection that I have, but you also have made something, you've survived that and you've made something well of yourself, right? But anyway, let's talk about 6. This is where the rambling happens. So in episode 6, it starts out as all the episodes start out with Jerrod on stage doing his therapy style comedy. And he talks about how he got this voicemail from his mom. And it's like the voicemail that any child would want to get from their mom after they've had a bit of a fracture in the relationship. And it's that phone call that says, I still love you. I'm still here for you. You are mine. I still claim you. Right? So that was really sweet. And I sensed that it meant a lot to him to get that phone call. And he tells us a little bit about how close him and his mom were so close. Like his dad would leave to go be with his other family, pretending like he would go be going to work. And Jerrod and his mom would cuddle and watch TV. And it was so endearing and so wholesome. I actually cried multiple times in this episode at the sweetness and the tenderness of what Jerrod was expressing. And I'm like, yes, like this is what I wanted. This is what I wanted. I wanted that interior and exterior life of like what are the conflicts and how are you navigating life now as an out gay Black man, right? Gay Black male, rich celebrity, dating a white man. Like, I want to see that stuff more. And that's why this episode is probably my favorite episode of the season so far, because that intimacy was really beautiful. So we get to see Jerrod and his mom. Like, we landed here. We landed with Jerrod and his mom in the forest. They were somewhere out there and they were talking. And there's this thing that a lot of Christians do where they equate homosexuality to like murder and like the R word. And it's so strange and it's so frustrating because it's as if being gay or being queer is like this criminal activity, and it's like this egregious horrible thing when it's not. And it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating to have these conversations with Christian folks, especially when we love them, especially when they're family, when they're like, oh, if you, I still love you, if you know you're my son, even if you were a murderer. And it's like, I'm not causing harm to anyone. Like, I'm not causing harm. Like, I need y'all. And they don't even hear themselves when they do this. They don't hear themselves say these things. And when you say it back to them, they're kind of like, Sometimes they're like, okay, maybe you have a point. And I think Jerrod's mom is really trying. But being somebody who's probably believed in a very harsh, righteous, strict Christian doctrine, it would probably be hard for you to get past that. The way she kept referring to being gay as like a lifestyle and a choice, like she still doesn't really get it. She doesn't get it yet. But I think she's trying. I think she's trying because she loves Jerrod, right? And the fact that they used to talk on the phone every day and then they went like years without speaking, you could hear the hurt in his voice and in his energy and his body language. And you could also see the sadness and the internal stuff that she's wrestling with in her eyes, right? Even behind those sunglasses. I see you, mom. So for some reason, I thought Jerrod was the only child. Apparently, he's got a brother who we also meet in this episode. I don't know if this brother is the brother from the second family or if this is a brother that he grew up with. Because whenever Jerrod talks about his childhood, he doesn't talk about siblings. So I always imagined it was just his mom and his dad and him, right? And then this other family showed up and it was him and his mom. And he admits to being a mama's boy. But we go to this house and we meet somebody who's Jerrod's brother and Jerrod's brother's wife, his sister-in-law, who seems to be really emotionally intelligent. And she's giving Black women realness because she's talking to him like, baby, like, you got to meet your mom halfway. It's obvious you're defensive. You got to put this wall down. And I get where she's coming from. Like, I get it. And I think that that talk she gave him is part of what encouraged him to go to the house with the flowers and the cake with Michael in the very end. I get that. I think that's why I wonder if the scenes were shot in order because I think that talk that she gave him is part of what fueled him a little bit to come over. Y'all noticed that he wore his pretty shirt and he was nervous. And I get that. Like, he talked about how I'm a grown ass man, I'm rich, I got money, I'm a success, but I still want my parents' approval. Like, I still want that. And as somebody who was raised by parents who never showed her any love, like, I was abused throughout my whole childhood and I never felt loved by my parents. So this whole idea of like unconditional love and your parents loving you no matter what, I personally don't believe in that. I don't believe in unconditional love. I didn't experience it. But I know I believe in it from my own child, right? Like, if my own child was like, Mom, I'm a cannibal, I'll be like, I love you. We're gonna work through this. Because that's the worst thing you could be. Um, I think. No. No more rambling in this video. I'm working on trying to be more succinct in my videos. So let me keep going with this. Yeah, mom, being gay, please do not equate it to murder and criminal activity. Being gay is not a lifestyle. In my notes, I'm just looking at, I wrote unconditional love is not real. It is not. He talks about the cuddle time that him and his mom had. And I get that. Like, I get that he probably misses that closeness and probably wants to talk to her about Michael and his relationship with Michael and what other things might be going on with him. I get that part. And I'm sure that there's something about having a certain type of love and then losing it, or feeling like you've lost it. And that's part of his heartache and trauma is probably connected to that. It seems as if there was a lot of homophobic rhetoric that was shouted out within the church that he grew up in. He refers to some fat preacher sweating on a stage, um, shouting about the gay agenda. So that's a lot. I really like the scenes where he took Michael to his old high school and he talked about how he was like so chaotic in his drama class and doing the most, and his South African teacher. I really like that. Like, I love seeing him just enjoy and just like spill out like sweetness and vulnerable, kind of like fun, playful. I'm like, yes, Jerrod, I like you. I like you. I like you. Okay. You're not I'm not gonna try not to curse in my videos, but I actually love this Jerrod. And I think one more reference as far as to the first four episodes, I kind of think that what he was doing was giving us reality. Like, okay, do you want a reality show? I'm going to give you the different sides of myself. I'm going to give you the bad sides, the ugly sides, the cringe sides, and I'm going to save the good for later. Maybe that's what's happening, and maybe it's just up from here because I can I tell you, I love this episode. I love this episode. I really loved seeing him play with his nieces. So, so cute. So, so cute doing dances with them. And watching those scenes made me realize that I'm rarely around kids. And that playfulness, really love it. Really love it. Like, that's the part of Aries that I like too. Like, Aries are very, very playful. Yeah, and I talked about his sister-in-law being emotionally intelligent, and not knowing that he wasn't the only child. And he wore his special shirt, the cake and the flowers. I felt a little cringe for Michael. I think Michael was put in a tough position. Michael being an atheist was kind of interesting. And his mom being a big Christian. The fact that they went to visit the family and the way they sat so far apart on that couch. Like, Jerrod was in like on all the way in the left hand, and Michael's on the right, like, and never the twain shall meet. Looking at Jerrod's old room and like having the VHS tapes, that was really cute. Um, yeah, it was tender. It was tender. They talked about food, pork and cabbage and random things. And his sister-in-law said something that I thought was really important. She said multiple important things, but one of the things she said that I wrote down was that his mom and him were very similar. And that's very true. Because Jerrod has a smart mouth and his mom has a smart mouth too. They are very similar. They are very similar. So yeah, that was cute. Let me see if I want to see anything else. So yeah, no, that's it. That's all I got. Great episode. Yeah, I talked about him not telling his mom that he was bringing Michael. That was the only teeny tiny part. Like, but then ended up telling her anyway. They stayed in the hotel. He called her. Oh, also, nice to see Jerrod hanging out with friends from high school in a way where he's not superior, right? In a way where he's not like talking down to them or bragging to them or flexing his comedic muscles or his celebrity. Just all sitting down, eating hot dogs. That was cute too. I like that scene. So great episode, Jerrod. I'm here with you, baby. I'm here with you. Good job. You gave it, wait, 10? I'm gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10. And I'm looking forward to seeing more. I'm looking forward to seeing more of these different sides of you. You showed us the mess first, and now you're showing us like how good therapy can be, right? How good it feels to heal. And that moment of reconciliation, although it wasn't exactly what you wanted, it was something, and it was beautiful, and it shows that there is love there, right? There is love there, and not to compare to other families where kids are completely excommunicated, but at least in this instance, there's a chance. There's a chance not to, you may not get back what you had, but there can be something that comes out of this, right? Just that apology and that sense of wanting. Your mom wants you just as much as you want her in your life. She wants you in her life too. And that's really beautiful. That's that reciprocity. All right. So anywho, that's all, y'all. Have a beautiful day, and thanks so much for watching. And please leave a comment, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.